There, I am Dragonfire, and it is time for the second video now on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out my first video, it's a review of Guns N' Roses albums and a ranking of them. So I thought I'd start a series, and for this one, I am going to give my favorite artist an album by the letter A. Now I know sometimes when people talk about solo artists, they do their last name. I'm doing the first name. It makes more sense to me. What can I say? Okay. So we're doing the letter A. This will be a series going for the alphabet, giving my favorite artists from each letter of the alphabet. Now I want to throw in some honorable mentions here. So let's say ABBA, Alan Jackson, Alanis Morissette, Alabama. There's some great artists out there with the letter A, some great bands. Can't name all of them, but I pretty much narrowed this down to my top four favorite artists that I love in music, artists and bands. So I'm going to give you my Mount Rushmore. First, I'm going to start off in alphabetical order. Again, these are in alphabetical order. My first one, letter A, is AC/DC. Love AC/DC. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great albums. And yeah, AC/DC. Now, again, I'm not giving you my ranking yet. I'm just giving you the top four. These are my Mount Rushmore. So my next one to come in on the top four for the letter A is Aerosmith. Aerosmith. Yes, fantastic band. So many hits. After that, let's go with Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper. Yeah, classic artist. Now you may be noticing a theme here. I think Aerosmith, AC/DC, and Alice Cooper all started in the 70s, were big in the 80s and 90s, and even continued to make music after that. But, you know, I am a really big fan of 80s music, which why this next pick may be a surprise. Avril Lavigne. I like her. She's an awesome rocker. She reminds me so much of like Lita Ford and Joan Jett. I mean, really into Avril Lavigne. I think she's pretty cool. So those are my Mount Rushmore for the letter A, top picks. So what order will I end up ranking them in? I think for me, just based on kind of everything together, and this is really hard because I do love all four of these, but I think my number four is going to be Alice Cooper. Got his greatest hits collection here, and he's a fantastic artist. He's got some great stuff, been making music since forever, and really love his album Trash, although since I fairly recently started recollecting CDs again after losing them all. I haven't gotten that album yet, but yeah, fantastic artist. Alice Cooper. Oh, let me give you some songs here. Just some songs off the greatest hits. I mean, and ones that I like in particular. Poison, which is off the Trash album. Hey Stupid, Feed My Frankenstein, House of Fire, Only Women Bleed, No More Mr. Nice Guy, $1 Billion Babies. Great stuff. Fantastic. Okay. My number three. And for my number three, I am going to have to go with AC/DC, and this is their Back in Black album. Can't recommend this one highly enough. Fantastic songs in here. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Shake a Leg, Have a Drink on Me, the title track, Back in Black, What Do You Do for Money, Honey? All these songs are fantastic. My favorite AC/DC song ever is number 7 off of this album, You Shook Me All Night Long. I love You Shook Me All Night Long. Fantastic, fantastic song. And was one of the biggest hits off this album, maybe the biggest hit on the album. And this is the only hard rock or heavy metal album ever to outsell Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. So the best selling hard rock or heavy metal album of all time, right here. AC/DC's Back in Black. Okay. Number 3. This was kind of surprised for me when I was evaluating how I felt, but I just love it so much, is Avril Lavigne. I'll rank her number 3, according to just all the music of hers I listen to. She has fantastic albums. This is her debut, which in my opinion is the best. It still has yet to top the debut, and it'd be a really hard one to top. 2002's Let Go. 2 big hits off this album were Complicated and Skater Boy, both of which I love, but I love every song on the album. Naked is good. Nobody's Fool. Losing Grip, the first song on the album. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff. So Avril Lavigne. For now, I'll have to put up my number 2, but really these top 4 are interchangeable. And then my number 1 is going to have to be Aerosmith. This one I was having such a hard time. I already showed the Greatest Hits album, but look at these 2 albums right here. Pump and Permanent Vacation. Permanent Vacation is one that I had as a little kid and I listened to so much. So there's a definite nostalgia factor there. Pump has my all-time favorite Aerosmith song on it, which is Love in an Elevator. It's got to be my number 1, although Walk This Way is very close, and of course they have some other really, really good ones. But even though this one, Pump, has my favorite song, this one may just be the strongest overall album, in my opinion. But, that could be based on my bias, since I had this album as a little kid and I remember listening to it over and over again. So it may be a nostalgia bias, but Ragdoll, right up there with Love in an Elevator and Walk This Way as one of my top 3 songs by the band ever. I really like the title track, Permanent Vacation. This is the one that has Dude Looks Like a Lady on it, which was a big radio hit. So, let me just read the track list here. Heart's Done Time, Magic Touch, Ragdoll, Samora, Dude Looks Like a Lady, St. John, Hangman Jury, Girl Keeps Coming Apart, Angel, Permanent Vacation, I'm Down, in the movie. Now, I'm Down is a cover, and I'm really fond of the Beatles version. Beatles did a fantastic job with I'm Down, and Guns N' Roses covers it here, and they also do great. It's just a great song. So, great by the Beatles, great by Aerosmith. Okay. Of course, when we get into their Greatest Hits album, this is why, so many people know them, and because of all these radio hits, although I am a big fan of deeper cuts, but all these radio hits, look, this is a 2-disc Greatest Hits album. Mama Can, Dream On, Same Old Song and Dance, Seasons of Wither, Walk This Way, big 10-inch record, Sweet Emotion, Last Child, Back in the Saddle, Draw the Line, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Angel, Ragdoll, Jamie's Got a Gun, Love in an Elevator, and What It Takes is just disc one. That's just disc one. Okay. Disc two, The Other Side, Living on the Edge, Crying, Amazing, Deuces Are Wild, Crazy, Fallen in Love, Pink, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Jaded, Just Push Play, Walk This Way. Now, the second Walk This Way is the version that they did with Run DMC, where, you know, they mix the rapping and the rock and roll together, and it's fantastic. Run DMC, a great rap group, partnering together with Aerosmith, a great rock group. Bam. Alright. And that's the version I love. I love the version that has Aerosmith and Run DMC together. And then finally this one closes out with Girls of Summer and Lay It Down. Fantastic. So that's why Aerosmith is my number one. I have their debut album, I have the Toys in the Attic, I have Pump, Permanent Vacation, 9 Lives, Get a Grip, and there's probably a few others out there that I could get because they're all so good. So the albums are great, yeah. You know, I'd like to have a few more, you know, of all those 4 artists that I wouldn't mind having their entire catalogs because all 4 of those artists are fantastic. So that's a Mount Rushmore. Avril Lavigne, AC/DC, Alice Cooper, and Aerosmith. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to keep this video short, so thanks for tuning in to my channel. Have a wonderful day.